Chapter 1111 Hey, I'm back again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 11 Hey I'm back again. To solve the problem of short manpower, Luo Ning thought about it and found two main ways. The first is to spend money to buy slaves. Slavery has not been abolished in this world. On the contrary, there are slaves in basically every city. Luo Ning took out the map from the carriage and looked at it. On the way from Wushan City to Shanlin Town, he would pass through many noble territories. If he really wanted to buy slaves, he should be able to buy some in many territories, but when it comes to which city is the most suitable, there are only two. The first is the largest city near Shanlin Town, Muma City. The second one is the Wushan City he just left. Should I go to Muma City to buy it? Or go back to Wushan City to buy it? Luo Ning knocked on the carriage and fell into thinking for a long time. Of course, in addition to purchasing slaves, there is another way to expand manpower, and that is to spend money to recruit. Luo Ning can spend money to hire some people to go to Hillwood Town. It's just that recruitment cannot be carried out by randomly choosing a city. First, he needs the consent of other lords, because in essence, the people of the lord also belong to the lord's wealth. If Luo Ning recruits privately without the lord's permission, it will violate the lord's laws. If the situation is serious, the other party can use this as an excuse to launch a war. After thinking about it, Luo Ning returned his gaze to Wushan City. Whether buying slaves or hiring civilians, returning to Wushan City is the best choice. He believed that even if he secretly recruited a group of people in Wushan City to go to Shanlin Town, Lowlands would probably not interfere, and Wiggins would probably turn a blind eye and just hope that he would lead the people away quickly. Far away, but if we had to turn back, today's journey would be in vain. If you really want to go back, you might consider asking the Earl for some more. To put it bluntly, he wanted manpower, but he didn't want to spend money. What can be done? I can only shamelessly borrow it from Wushanbao. Simple betrayal and playing the emotional card obviously won't work. Is there any other way? Luo Ning thought for a long time. First of all, the 9 guards arranged by Wiggins betrayed him. It makes sense for him to go back and replace them with a new batch, right? After this idea came into his mind, he couldn't stop it, and finally decided to return to Wushanbao. What good horse doesn't want to turn back to eat grass? As long as the grass behind it is delicious, what does it matter whether it turns back or not? After the guards finished feeding the horses and everyone finished their meal, Luo Ning waved his hand. Chahar, tell the convoy to turn around and let's go back to Wushan City. Chahar was stunned. Master, aren't we going to Shanlin Town? Of course I will go, but I suddenly remembered that there is something important that I have to do. Although Chahar was still confused, he did not continue to ask questions and quickly passed on the Baron's order. The 5 betrayers immediately became uneasy as soon as they heard that they were going back to Wushan Castle. If Luo Ning went back and handed them over to Wushan Castle, wouldn't their game be over? But seeing Knight McCann riding a war horse, they had no intention of escaping. The carriage swayed, and after more than 4 hours, the convoy passed through Wushan City and arrived outside Wushan Fort. Luo Ning did not choose to buy slaves in the city, but chose to go back to the castle to try his luck. If he could get resources, wouldn't he save money? Seeing his figure, the guard guarding the castle gate was stunned. Sir, what are you doing? The guard guarding the door had questions on his face. Didn't this young master go out in the morning? Why did he come back at night? Luo Ning scowled and snorted. Go tell Count Wiggins that the elite soldiers he arranged for me are all traitors, and they actually assassinated me on the way. What? That the guard guarding the gate thought he heard wrongly. There was a traitor among the guards of Wushan Fort, and he also wanted to assassinate the eldest grandson of the Wushan family. The 5 traitors who had been spared by Luo Ning for the time being and were not killed felt as if they had fallen into an ice cave when they heard these words, and their expressions suddenly changed. Sure enough, the worries on the way back turned into reality, and the Baron still did not let them go. Sir, have mercy on me, my lord, have mercy on me. They knelt on the ground and kept begging for mercy. Luo Ning did not look at them again. He would not kill them, he would only hand them over to Wushan Castle. As for how Wushanbao would treat them, that was not his concern. McCann, Chahar, follow me to see my Marquis. Luo Ning walked into Wushan Fort as he said, "These traitors will be handed over to your guards. Don't let them escape." "Don't worry, sir," that the gatekeepers immediately controlled the 5 traitors, and one of them quickly ran into the castle, presumably to report the matter to Wiggins. Luo Ning didn't waste a moment and arrived at Lalance's small building at lightning speed. "Grandpa, Grandpa," that he shouted as he walked and started to look panicked. "Master Luo Ning," that the old butler most came up to him in surprise, "didn't you leave in the morning? Why are you back again?" That Luo Ning's acting skills were completely on point. He asked anxiously, "Where is my grandfather? I want to find him." "Ah, the master is in the room." Most stepped aside, preparing to let Luo Ning in, but at this time, Marquis Wushan had already walked from the house to the courtyard on crutches. "I can hear your shouting in the house. What's going on? Why are you back again?" That the Marquis was wearing a robe and looked like he had just gotten out of bed. Luo Ning hurriedly stepped forward. "Grandpa, the guard sent by my father actually assassinated me on the way." As he spoke, he held Roland's hand and couldn't help but tremble. I suspect they were ordered by my father, who wants to kill me." Roland's face changed. Wiggins was so confused that he wanted to kill his son. "You fart." Before anyone arrived, the sound arrived first. Count Wiggins, who had rushed over, heard from a distance that Luo Ning was wronging him, and his roar made him want to lift the roof off. "I wish you could die outside, but I don't have enough time to arrange for someone to kill you." As soon as the words fell, Wiggins had already arrived in the courtyard. Although he was only a senior knight and his strength could not catch the eyes of the great nobles, the fighting spirit surging all over his body at this moment still put a lot of pressure on Luo Ning. "Stop!" McCann took a step forward and stood in front of Luo Ning. Wiggins snorted angrily, "Get out of here." He raised his leg and kicked McCann. McCann did not avoid it and raised his leg to fight back. With a bang, their legs collided together firmly. The huge force made them unstable and they stumbled back at the same time. "Are you okay?" Ronan quickly supported McCann, and it was obvious that Wiggins had the upper hand in this blow. This is not surprising. After all, the opponent is a senior knight, while McCann is a junior. If Wiggins had just used his full strength, or even used his fighting spirit, and McCann had taken it so hard, he would have been in bed for several months. "Who are you?" Wiggins frowned and asked coldly. A strange light flashed in the eyes of Lu Lands on the side, and he thought to himself, "Why is there a knight beside Luo Ning?" And looking at the performance of this knight, although the level is not high, the foundation is relatively solid. His grandson made his eyes light up again. "Come in and talk." The old Marquis turned around and walked into the house. "If you move something in the courtyard and spread the word, the nobles outside will think that our Wushan family is going to turn against us." Snort. Wiggins shook his robe angrily and followed him into the house. Luo Ning asked McCann to check it, and after finding that there was nothing serious, he followed him in. The 3 parties sat down, and Lu Lancy said, "Luo Ning, please tell me clearly what happened today. Why do you suspect that your father wants to kill you?" No. Chapter 13 Selecting People. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 13 Choosing People. Unfortunately, after some fierce bargaining, Luo Ning didn't get too many guards in the end. However, Lowlands also relaxed and asked Wiggins to arrange 30 guards for Luo Ning, and also provide Luo Ning with additional resources, 0.1000 kilograms of barley, 1,000 kilograms of wheat, 500 kilograms of flour, 300 kilograms of dried meat, 300 kilograms of vegetables, 50 kilograms of coarse salt, 20 kilograms of fine salt, 5 carriages, 1 high-quality war horse, and 100 gold coins. Although the number of guards was not satisfactory, the resources supplied later blocked Luo Ning's mouth. To be honest, he didn't expect Wushanbao to give him so many extra resources. In addition to food, there are 4 carriages and a horse. After expressing his most sincere thanks to Rolands and Wiggins, Luo Ning happily left the room and followed Hallward to select guards. "Father, why do you give Luo Ning so many resources?" After Luo Ning left, Wiggins finally couldn't help it anymore. "We lost a lot of resources and even territory because of him yesterday." "Why are you still protecting him like this?" Lolan smiled. "As a father, haven't you noticed that Luo Ning has grown up? Wiggins was stunned for a moment, and then thought about it carefully. Although he didn't want to admit it, he nodded. It has indeed changed a bit. At least I haven't gone to any manor to attend a banquet in the past 2 days. Actually, he already knew that the guard's betrayal had nothing to do with you. I guess the reason why he wanted to blame you was to get some benefits. Wiggins was stunned for a moment, and then he seemed to understand a little, and couldn't help but stare. This bastard. Lu Lancy chuckled. What happened to Selena this time has a great impact on this child and made him grow a lot, so I am willing to give him some resources and see if he can make some achievements. He sighed. Our Wushan family is only 3 generations old and has too little blood. Now that you are not good enough, you can only count on these 2 remaining men. Although Luo Ning has changed his surname, his bloodline is still there. If he develops, it will not be a bad thing for our Wushan family. Wiggins was like a cat whose tail had been stepped on, his face turned red and he was speechless, but this sentence is true. At the age of 52, he should still have the ability to have children, but he was too indulgent when he was young and emptied his potential. After giving birth to Brayden, no matter how hard he and Diane worked, it was in vain. Privately, Wiggins also tried others, but without exception, it didn't work. Okay, then just do as father said. I hope Luo Ning won't disappoint you. Wiggins stood up, bowed, and quickly left the room. Lolans glanced at the old butler. When Hallwart summons all the guards, have the 5 traitors brought back by Luo Ning be pulled over and killed. Let those guards understand that betraying the Wushan family will only lead to death. As you wish. Most stepped back respectfully. There is a huge square on the west side of Wushan Fort where knights and guards usually train. At this moment, in the afterglow of the setting sun, under Hallwart's call, all the guards in the castle gathered here. In addition, there are several cavalrymen watching from the outside. Luo Ning looked over. Each of these cavalrymen was tall and energetic. They looked extraordinary. They should be the ones in the knight squad defending the castle today. Luo Ning's eyes lit up. It would be great if he could get such a team of knights to go to Hillwood Town with him. New, but it's a pity. According to Rollans, in a place like Hillwood Town, it's enough to have a knight named McCann and a team of guards who train regularly. Wiggins even said that you only need to avoid the monsters in the winter in Shanlin Town, and don't go near the Wushan Mountains on weekdays. The savage tribes in the forest are out of place. What else could Luo Ning say? Master, all the guards have been assembled, a total of 60 people. Hallwater came over and said respectfully, according to the master's instructions, you can choose 30 of them to accompany you to Shanlin Town. Luo Ning glanced at the guards standing below. They were just standing relatively concentrated together, without any posture at all. Only 60 people. Luo Ning didn't know the defense situation of Wushanbao, so he was very surprised when he heard this number. This is Wushan Fort, the Marquis' base camp, but there are only 60 guards. 60 guards are enough. Hallward explained, the real core combat force is the 12 professional knights. Most of the work of the retinue and guards is to guard and serve the professional knights. Luo Ning nodded slowly. Indeed, McCann, a junior knight, was able to kill 9 traitors. In front of the extraordinary, the fighting power of ordinary people was indeed not enough. Looking at it this way, the defense of the Marquis mansion is still acceptable. Ordinary people have no way of causing any trouble here. How are these guards paid? Ronan turned to ask about the guards' pay. Although Hallward is not responsible for the salaries of the guards, as a butler, he still has a certain amount of information in this regard. 1 copper coin per day, including food and accommodation. Luo Ning couldn't help but sigh. The salary of only 1 copper coin per day was really low. Fortunately, food and accommodation are included, otherwise the survival of these guards would be a problem. Announced to them the Earl's arrangements. Okay. Hallwart faced the guards. All guards, standing in front of you is the noble blood of Ashen, the grandson of the Marquis of Ashen Territory, the son of the Earl of Ashen City, Baron Ronan Firestorm of Hillwood Town. Although the guards knew Luo Ning's identity, they still cheered loudly and expressed their sincere greetings to Luo Ning when they heard the butler's introduction. Hallwart chuckled and continued, the Baron is about to set out to build a new city for the Wushan family. He needs to select 30 of you to go to Shanlin Town to serve as his guards. In the future, Shanlin Town will develop into a new city. They are the first batch of heroes. This is a great cause. Now, if you are willing to follow Lord Luo Ning, please come forward. That when the words fell, unlike the reversal of the previous sentence, the guards did not cheer, but began to discuss among themselves in whispers. The news about Luo Ning's de-inheritance has spread. As the guards of the castle, they naturally know about it, so of course they know where Shanlin Town is. In addition to being remote and dangerous, the main reason is that it is relatively far from Wushan City, and the guards' homes are here. If they are asked to take the initiative to go to Shanlin Town, they must be somewhat resistant. For a moment, no one came forward. Hallwart frowned slightly. Are you cowards? You don't even dare to grab such an honor? If no one takes the initiative, then I will be the one to choose. All the guards stopped talking and looked nervous, like students who were afraid of being called on to answer a question. Ronan took a step forward and signaled Hallwart to let him come. He looked at the guard below and raised a finger. Anyone who is willing to follow me to Shanlin Town can immediately receive a reward of 1 silver coin. There was another discussion below. Luo Ning raised his second finger. Anyone who is willing to follow me to Shanlin Town, in addition to providing food and accommodation, I will pay your daily salary of 2 copper coins. The discussion suddenly became louder, and even 3 or 5 people came forward excitedly. Luo Ning smiled and raised his third finger. Any guard who follows me to Shanlin Town and dies in battle, I will pay a pension of 1 gold coin to your family. I'm going. Finally, more than half of the 60 guards came forward. At this time, Luo Ning raised his fourth finger. I can promise that by the end of next year, if you want to return to Wushan City to live, I will not stop you in any way. Of course, if you want to bring your family members from Wushan City to live in Shanlin Town, I will also apply to my father and ensure that your family reaches Shanlin Town safely. After saying this, the remaining dozen who had not come forward couldn't help it anymore. Higher salary, more reliable benefits, and they are still part of the initial team. They will be able to take their families to Shanlin Town in the future. With such good conditions, the guards had no reason not to be tempted. I am coming too. That they all rushed forward. New. Chapter 14 Deterrence. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 14 Deterrence. Facing the guards with surging intentions, Luo Ning smiled and motioned for everyone to be quiet. With the approval of the Marquis and Earl, I can only take away 30 of you. Luo Ning thought for a while and said, now please come to the right if you are under the age of 18. Boom, the crowd moved quickly, and a group of people came out. Luo Ning counted carefully and found that there were 15 people in total, which was exactly half of the number he wanted to select. Okay, you have been selected. Luo Ning smiled. People under the age of 18 still have a chance to awaken fighting spirit and become professional knights, so Luo Ning used age as the first step to filter. As for whether any of them could become magicians, Luo Ning didn't dare to hope, because the conditions for becoming a magician are very harsh. He remembers that it seems that the mental strength must be several times that of ordinary people, and the age is not 18, but 10 years old. This group of guards is already over 10 years old, and there is no chance that there will be any more magicians. As far as the predecessor knows, the number of magicians in the entire Wushan city does not exceed double digits, and they are still low-level. Professional knights are more common and better known. The rest of you will start from where you are and run around the training ground. The first one to return to where you started can follow me. Running is part of the daily training of the guards. Following Luo Ning's order, 45 guards began to run along the edge of the training ground. The training ground is not very big, about 800 meters in one lap. The good conditions offered by Luo Ning made the guards rush forward with all their strength. Some who did not grasp the rhythm were quickly thrown away. Some people who were slow and unable to continue gradually showed their fatigue. Soon, the first person returned to the starting point. Luo Ning nodded to him, and the other person screamed happily, then the second, third, fourth. When the 15th person arrived, Luo Ning signaled to others who had not reached the finish line to stop. He smiled at the 30 guards gathered on his right and said, "Congratulations on being selected. From now on, you are the guards of my Baron of Hillwood Town, Ronan Firestorm. I am willing to serve you, Lord Baron. The guards shouted in unison. I promise you, I will definitely do it. Luo Ning looked at Chahar and said, Chahar, 1 silver coin for each person. I'll give it to you now. Okay, sir. Chahar walked down with the money bag he had prepared and began to hand out money one by one. The guards who received the money all smiled. There is nothing in this world that makes people happier than receiving money. Those who were not selected looked envious. While the money was being distributed here, 2 cavalrymen slowly escorted the 5 betrayers to the training ground. At the same time, a tall man dismounted from his horse, came to Luo Ning, and performed a knight's salute. Nice to meet you, Mr. Luo Ning. Captain of the 7th team of the 1st Knights of Wushan, Garmin Stout says hello to you. Luo Ning was confused for a moment, but as his memory floated, he understood. The 1st Knights of the Wushan territory are permanently stationed in Wushan City, and today the 7th numbered Knight squad of the Knights is responsible for the defense of the castle. Luo Ning remembered that the captain in front of him was a senior knight and a Knight of Wiggins. Being canonized as a knight is also regarded as entering the nobility. Hello Sir Garmin. Luo Ning greeted warmly, are you coming over? Garmin waved his hand, and the 5 knights immediately kicked him, causing the 5 betrayers to kneel on the ground. Garmin cleared his throat, everyone listen and watch. There was no loudspeaker, but the Garmin knight's voice was so loud that it silenced the guards. The 5 people kneeling now were once the guards of Baron Luo Ning. Not only did they fail to protect the safety of the Baron, they even pointed their swords at the Baron. Garmin's voice was serious and heavy, the Wushan family does not allow traitors. The sound echoed, and all the guards were shocked that such a thing happened. Betrayal, how dare they betray the Baron? Such a traitor has no value whatsoever in surviving. Garmin snorted coldly and pulled out the long sword from his waist. A cold breath swept across all directions. This was the fighting spirit of a senior knight. Luo Ning felt that maybe the Cavalier's captain in front of him was a little stronger than his father Wiggins. Kill! The Garmin knight slashed the ground with his long sword. Puff puff. The 5 knights raised their swords high and then chopped them down. The 5 heads rolled on the ground and blood spurted out. The smell of blood filled the air, making everyone nervous. It is your honor to become Lord Baron's guard. As your former captain, I hope you will cherish this honor and be loyal to Lord Luo Ning wholeheartedly. If one day you have a heart of betrayal, even if the Baron is kind and spares your life, I will not spare you, and the Wushan family will not let you go. After saying this, Knight Garmin sheathed his sword, and his clear voice startled everyone. Garmin excuses himself. I wish Lord Luo Ning all the best. Knight Garmin bowed to Luo Ning and left calmly. His retinue began to direct the unselected guards to collect the bodies. Luo Ning glanced at the 5 people who were killed. To be honest, his mood was still a bit ups and downs. After all, he had just traveled through time and had not fully adapted to many things. But he understands that this is the world. By asking Garmin to execute these 5 betrayers in public, he was warning the 30 guards he selected today to let them know the consequences of betrayal. This is shocking. Luo Ning looked at Most's figure not far away and guessed that it was Marquis Wushan who told him to do this. After getting along several times, Luo Ning found that the old Marquis was indeed quite nice to him. As long as the predecessor is trying to live up to his expectations. I am afraid that even if there is Selena, the old Marquis will forcefully suppress it. As for Earl Wiggins, I can't say he was good or bad about his predecessor, he just had a bad temper and was a bit stupid. Putting away his thoughts, Luo Ning took a deep breath and shifted his gaze. Okay, guards, you have one night to tell your families about this. We will gather in front of Wushan Fort tomorrow morning and set off. He waved his hand, signaling the guards to get ready. McKen, I will leave the following group of guards to you for training. Luo Ning said to the knight beside him. Okay sir. McCann bowed and agreed, but felt a little embarrassed. But sir, McCann has no experience in training a team. This is indeed a problem, but Luo Ning thought of a way. Of course, he has no experience in training a team, but on Earth, he has participated in military training, which is a rare and valuable experience. Although the content of military training is mainly to cultivate discipline, Luo Ning looked at the leaving guards. Isn't it what they lacked, that discipline? What's more, Luo Ning also learned the 16-style military boxing during military training. Regardless of whether it can improve actual combat effectiveness, at least it can strengthen the body. It's okay. I'll teach you a plan when the time comes. Luo Ning said to McCann with a smile, do you guys still have tickets? Hey, ask for tickets online.new. Chapter 15:15 Rewards on the third day. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 15 Reward on the third day. Luo Ning didn't expect that he would go back to sleep in the bedroom last night after a busy day. Just after 12 o'clock in the morning, familiar words appeared in the field of vision: sign in successfully, attribute points +1, combined with the King of Slaughter achievement completed during the day. Luo Ning already had 11 attribute points. Without exception, he added all of them to the night level. His night level progress is now 33 out of 100, and his physical fitness has improved a lot compared to last night. The login rewards on the third day can be collected. Luo Ning looked at the 7 days login interface. Day 3, reward a space ring with 10 cubic meters of storage space. This time it's not a character card, attribute points or energy essence, but an item. As the reward was received, a light flashed in the air before Luo Ning's eyes, and then a green and blue ring floated in the air, very exquisite. Luo Ning took the ring in his hand and played with it. I don't know what material it is made of. It is light but extremely cold, just like holding an ice cube in the summer. How to use it? Luo Ning read it several times, but couldn't find a way. He thought of a common plot in novels: is it necessary to shed blood to recognize the master? But as he looked, a line of text appeared next to the ring. Inject fighting spirit or bind with mental power. It turns out it wasn't blood. Luo Ning put down the sword in his hand. He is still just a junior knight, and his fighting spirit has not broken through the fighting spirit seeds, so he cannot release his fighting spirit. Therefore, if you want to bind the space ring, you can only inject spiritual power into it. But there was no magician around him, and he had no knowledge of magic. He had no idea how to use magic or how to use mental power. A dead horse is a living horse, doctor. Try it yourself. Luo Ning put the ring on the ring finger of his right hand, then closed his eyes and visualized the ring with his heart. There was no strange phenomenon at first, but gradually, he felt as if there was a tentacle extending from his mind, through his body and onto his fingers. Is this spiritual power? This feeling is very strange. At this moment, Luo Ning has entered a state of inner vision and can see the situation in the body clearly, which is much clearer than when he senses the seeds of fighting energy. Found it, the ring. Luo Ning had the shape of the ring in his perception. With a thought, his mental power seemed to have a gap and penetrated directly into the ring on his finger. In an instant, a black mysterious magic array appeared on the ring, and the light emitted from it connected Luo Ning and the ring. Hey! Like the sound of an aircraft flying across the sky quickly, the space Luo Ning perceived suddenly opened up. This should be the world inside the ring, a 10 cubic meter storage space. The gray space is quite spacious, but it is empty at the moment, without anything. Luo Ning opened his eyes and found that the delicate and small ring on his finger was gone. Only when he used his mental power to observe, he found that the ring had fused with his finger and was hidden between the skin and finger bones. It was very magical. Then, he began to try how to store items into the space ring. Soon he mastered the method. As long as the external object was in contact with the location of the ring, and then the mental power was emitted through the ring and touched the object, he could put it into the space ring. Putting things away multiple times will also consume a certain amount of mental energy, especially large objects. Although it takes some time, it is much more convenient to have this thing. Luo Ning didn't know the value of a space ring, but if it were sold, it would definitely be priceless. If he wants to get rich overnight, he can just sell the ring, but who would think of selling this thing? What's more, selling it will cause trouble. After playing with it for a while, Luo Ning took another look at the 7 days login interface. Looking forward to the next 4 items, he closed the interface and lay on the bed with his head in his hands excitedly. I'll make a lot of money when I come back this time. He was glad that he chose to return to Wushan City instead of going to Muma City to buy slaves. 30 guards, 100 gold coins, plus so many supplies. Luo Ning's current family fortune can be said to be quite rich. If he didn't invest in other areas, these materials and money would be enough for him to spend several years without any worries. The only pity is that the population of Shanlin town is too small. According to Lowlands, there are less than 1,000 people. This made Luo Ning feel like he was less like the lord of the town and more like the king of the mountain. If we want to become bigger and stronger, it seems that we will have to consider population issues for a long time to come. It's been the third day since he traveled to this world. While getting familiar with this world, Luo Ning also gradually gained a clear understanding of his future. Originally, he wanted to rely on his golden fingers to thrive in the nooks and crannies of the mountains, but after learning that Shanlin town was not a peaceful place, he knew that just surviving alone would not work. As a baron and aristocrat, there are some things he wants to avoid, but the enemy's spearhead has been pointed at him. This is the same as the higher the position, the greater the responsibility, so he needs to improve his strength and form his own team at the same time. Goldfinger gave him shortcuts and directions. Make money, develop, expand population. Information about Shanlin town flashed through Luo Ning's mind. There was a tribe of savages living in the woods to the north of the town. Roland said that there are less than 1,000 people in Shanlin town. This small population can resist the savage tribe. That means the savage tribe is not scary. Maybe I can consider absorbing the savage tribe first. It costs money to buy slaves, and it also costs money to recruit workers, but as long as he conquers the savage tribe, he can get some people without spending money. The only thing that needs to be considered is the loss caused by conquest. You must minimize your own losses, so that the benefits will be greater. Improving the combat effectiveness of the guards is the key. Luo Ning thought of the knight Garmin Stout with whom he had a brief exchange in the afternoon. If there was a team of such knights, wouldn't it be appropriate to conquer the savage tribe? When can I form such a team of knights? For a standard knight squad, Luo Ning needs at least 12 junior knights, 3 archers, 18 people, and at least 48 horses. He is a little far away from this goal. Being a lord is much more complicated than being a student. Luo Ning yawned, running around and acting. After a busy day, he felt a little tired and fell asleep. The next day, the valet Chahar was still waiting outside the door early. After a simple breakfast, Luo Ning took McCann and Chahar to the outside of Wushan Fort. At this time, the 30 selected guards were already standing outside Wushan Fort, waiting for Luo Ning's arrival. Many civilians could be seen watching in the distance. They should all be their family members, but due to the intervention of the castle guards, they were not allowed to approach. In addition to the personnel, 11 carriages and 2 horses were lined up in a row, which was very impressive. Luo Ning looked at the guards preparing to set off, and then scanned the supplies on the carriage, and couldn't help but smile with joy. Compared to yesterday, his assets have almost doubled. Chahar, arrange for a few people to evenly distribute the materials on the vehicles. Try to make sure that the weight of the goods on each vehicle is not much different. Okay, sir. Luo Ning came to the side of the second war horse newly given to him, reached out and patted the horse's head. The black horse blinked cooperatively and showed no resistance. I wish the Baron a safe arrival in Shanlin town. It was still the old and new butlers who saw him off this time. Thank you for your blessing. Luo Ning laughed, glanced at the prepared team, and shouted with great enthusiasm, let's go. At this time, outside Wushan Fortress, taking advantage of the high terrain, the idle Earl Wiggins looked at Luo Ning's team and couldn't help but let out a sigh. This guy is finally gone, don't come back again. Thanks to Mr. Heaven is dead for your vote. New. Chapter 16:16 Luo Ning's Training. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 16 Luo Ning's Training. The road was still the same as yesterday, but Luo Ning's state of mind was completely different. Yesterday he brought 9 traitors with the heart of betraying the Lord, but today his guards have no intention of disloyalty towards him. The team's march was not slow, thanks to the 5 additional carriages given to Luo Ning by Count Wiggins. With them, Luo Ning was able to get all the people in the car without having to walk to slow down the progress. The convoy of more than 30 people had the golden mountain emblem of the Wushan family on the car. Even if they encountered a small group of bandits on the wilderness road, they would not dare to take action. as for the occasional caravans coming and going from Shanlin town, there is no need to worry, the owners of those caravans would come here in person to express their sincere greetings to Luo Ning, and one even enthusiastically presented 10 kilograms of fine honey. Luo Ning smiled and said to the other party, "Wish you a safe journey." The carriage creaked and creaked, adding a sense of music to the boring journey. As the sun approached the mountains to the west, Ronan signaled to McCann to stop the convoy. "Let's camp here today. There is a creek to the south where we can get water." "Okay, sir." McCann gently pinched the belly of the war horse and ran forward quickly, causing all the vehicles in front to stop. After the motorcade stopped, Luo Ning got off the carriage and came to the middle of the road. After everyone had arranged the carriage, Luo Ning shouted in a deep voice, "Everyone is here, gather here. Follow the rules I said at noon, stand in 6 rows and 5 columns. 30 guards heard this and all hurried over. This was a training program arranged by the Baron after lunch. Although it was strange and the guards had never seen it before, who asked the Baron to make them eat to the fullest. So after hearing this order, they remembered the noon admonition and did not lose a moment. Not long after, the 30 guards gathered together. Although there were bumps and bumps during the process, some people even walked in the wrong row and stood in the wrong column, but luckily they corrected each other in the end. Luo Ning nodded secretly. Compared to yesterday and the morning, the team looked a bit different now. "Stand at attention." Luo Ning issued a short and urgent command. The guards acted accordingly. "What are you doing?" Luo Ning pointed at the little man in the 3rd and 4th rows and asked, "Stand at attention. I want you to put your feet together, straighten your legs, draw in your lower abdomen slightly, naturally raise your chest, and hunched over to show who." The guard was probably young. His face turned red when he was pointed at his nose and criticized like this, and he quickly adjusted his posture. There were 2 acquaintances nearby who had a good relationship with the guards and couldn't help but laugh out loud. "What are you laughing?" Luo Ning imitated the instructor's attitude and expression, and was so stern that the guards dared not express their anger. "If anyone laughs again, don't eat dinner." The majesty of the nobles and the temptation of food forced the guards to take it seriously and stand in a military posture in the middle of the road. This scene looks a little funny. McCann, I've left the essentials of the movements to you. Go ahead and correct those who didn't do it right. As the Baron's bodyguard and the most powerful knight in the team, this seemingly simple task brought unprecedented pressure to McCann. In order to do the moves at noon well, throughout the afternoon, whenever the team took a break, McCann was studying the essentials of these moves, and he also asked Luo Ning several times during this period. Fortunately, hard work pays off, and he has a relatively good grasp of it. "As you command, my lord." McCann stepped out in response and began to carefully inspect the 30 guards. Luo Ning stood aside and inspected it, while also thinking about whether this training method was useful. After all, there is extraordinary power in this world, but he soon figured it out. So what if you have extraordinary power? Extraordinary people also start from ordinary people. This set of training can exercise people's consciousness, cultivate team spirit, and improve team discipline. It is obviously useful. Standing in military postures is only part of the training. There will also be military boxing and fighting competitions later on. While thinking about it, McCann finished the inspection and came to the front, reporting to your lord. "The inspection and correction are completed." Luo Ning nodded, returned to the team. McCann also gave a symbolic salute, then returned to stand beside Luo Ning. "Take a break." With the new instructions, the guards made new moves. Luo Ning just took a cursory look and found that there wasn't much of a problem, so he didn't ask McCann to correct it. "Today is the first day that I have arranged special training for you. If you make any mistakes, I will only correct them and will not punish you. But from tomorrow on, if anyone is still careless, don't blame me for being rude. Do you hear me?" "I heard it," the guards responded timidly. "Louder, do you hear me?" Luo Ning shouted. This roar surprised the guards, who quickly responded loudly, "I heard it." "Okay, let's disband on the spot and start preparing dinner according to the division of labor at noon." Luo Ning smiled and said, "As long as you train well, I won't treat you badly in terms of food and drink." The tense nerves of the guards relaxed a lot after hearing this sentence. In fact, they have heard a lot of negative comments about Luo Ning, such as being addicted to parties, overindulging in sex, having no intention of practicing, having a bad temper, etc. But after getting along with each other today, they found that the Lord Baron was not as bad as he said. They originally followed them to Hillwood Town just for money, but suddenly they felt that following Baron Luo Ning might be a good choice. Master, the honey water is ready for you. Chahar came over at the right time holding the crystal cup. Thank you. Sipping the sweet honey water, Luo Ning felt very comfortable. Stay here and rest at night. McCann, please remember to arrange for someone to keep watch. Luo Ning warned, remember to arrange for 2 groups of people to take turns guarding to ensure that everyone has a certain amount of rest time. Although this is not in the Wushan Mountains and there are no powerful monsters, some weak monsters and beasts still exist. Luo Ning didn't want to fall asleep and die. Don't worry, sir, leave the defense to me. We will never let any enemy get close to our camp. Well, I believe in your ability. After dinner and lighting the bonfire, I have new moves to teach you. Well. McCann felt a little guilty and curious about what kind of new move it was. Luo Ning handed the finished cup to Chahar. Remember to tell everyone that drinking water must be boiled before drinking. Although the air and scenery here are relatively pristine, Luo Ning is still not sure whether there are any difficult bacteria in the water in the stream. It's always good to boil water to drink anyway. Don't worry, sir, all the water in the water bags is boiled and then cooled. Chahar said respectfully. I also informed several other guards responsible for cooking that there is no problem with water. I can rest assured when you do things. Luo Ning laughed, took off the long sword from the carriage, and shouted to McCann. Come on, it's your turn to teach me swordsmanship. New. Chapter 17 Deception. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 17 Deception. At night, several burning bonfires illuminated the road in the wilderness. After a few minutes of simple rest after dinner, Luo Ning asked the guards to gather together and began to teach them the instructions of walking in unison, walking in step, and standing still. It has been 4 years since he started military training in college. He doesn't know the professional vocabulary involved in these movements, but he still remembers the basics of each movement. He taught it while recalling it, and it took him more than half an hour before all the guards, including McCann, basically mastered this movement. From now on, every 5 people in a row will train separately. The others who are not leaving will watch with their eyes wide open and refer to the mistakes of others to correct their own actions. Luo Ning looked at his guard officer. McCann is handed over to you. You come and shout the command. I will check the results of the morning training tomorrow morning. As you command, my lord. McCann walked to the side of the team with an uneasy heart. First row, listen to my command and stand at attention. After handing over the training to McCann, Luo Ning returned to sit down in front of a fire and found that the manservant Chahar was adding firewood to the fire while being silly and happy. Why, you want to join the training too? Luo Ning asked with a smile. Chahar immediately looked away and smiled awkwardly. Master, I just think their training is very interesting. Haha. Luo Ning smiled and said, if you want to go, go ahead. Anyway, there is nothing to do now. Chahar hesitated for a while, then gritted his teeth, stood up and said excitedly, thank you very much, sir. After saying that, he ran towards the team and, after receiving approval from McCann, joined the last row. Luo Ning couldn't help but shook his head when he saw this scene. He would increase the intensity tomorrow and bring in punishment measures, and then teach them military-style boxing to see if Chahar still wants to practice it by then. He rested for a while, took a sip of water, and then drew out his long sword and practiced several common attack movements of chopping and stabbing. His predecessor's attainments in this area were almost zero. He, like the guards, had to study hard. People who were addicted to learning and training completely lost track of time. It wasn't until Luo Ning felt his arms were sore and out of breath that he stopped practicing his sword. He looked back at the guards who were still training. Although they were still practicing under McCann's intimidation, they could see that they were tired. That's it for today. After giving instructions, Luo Ning walked aside, scooped up 2 buckets of water and took a shower. He then returned to the tent and lay down to rest. His tent was the only one in the entire team, and the others could only spend the night by the fire. Fortunately, it was not winter now. After the disbandment, the guards almost didn't take a shower. They went directly to the fire, sat down and began to rest. McCann arranged the vigil personnel and stood guard outside the tent where Luo Ning was. The entire camp soon fell silent, with only the crackling sound of burning firewood and the irregular rhythm of snoring. Luo Ning wanted to fall asleep, but he still resisted the urge to fall asleep. He was waiting for midnight to arrive. Time ticked by, and finally when Luo Ning was almost unable to hold on any longer, familiar words appeared. Sign in successfully, attribute points +1. Luo Ning looked at the 7-day login panel and claimed the reward for the 4th day with a thought. Suddenly in his field of vision, a high-quality package was opened gorgeously, a burst of light burst out, and then 2 lines of text appeared. Attribute points +60. Energy essence +100. Luo Ning was already prepared that the high-quality gift pack would not yield anything good, but after seeing the number of attribute points and energy essences, he couldn't help but smile. He looked at the properties panel. Level 1 Junior Knight, 32/100, plus 1 Junior Magician, 0 out of 100, plus attribute points, 61, energy essence, 100. With these attribute points, Luo Ning's warrior level progress is only 7 points short of completion. Unfortunately, due to physical limitations, he can only break through both professions together, and cannot upgrade the knight level to the intermediate level first. Although I can't break through, McCann can. McCann's knight level progress has reached 80 out of 100, and he only needs to consume 20 energy points to break through and become an intermediate knight. Although there is only 1 level difference between primary and intermediate, it is a process of qualitative change for the knight. The fighting spirit of intermediate knights breaks out. Knights can use fighting spirit to attack, which greatly enriches the attack methods of professional knights. At this moment, a crashing sound came from the mountains to the north, and at the same time, there was a constant humming sound. Luo Ning's expression tightened. He was very awake at the moment and caught the abnormality immediately. The second person to notice the situation was McCann outside the tent. His eyes were like lightning, and he looked directly at the source of the sound, only to see several tall shadows becoming clearer and clearer in the night. Ah, there is a warcraft. The warcraft is coming. The guard responsible for keeping watch also noticed the situation and shouted quickly. The sound of panic spread throughout the camp, and the sleeping guards suddenly woke up, grabbed their weapons and stood on guard. Under the light of the fire, the 3 huge guys also revealed their figures. It's not a monster, but 3 big wild boars. These guys are not afraid of fire. Luo Ning walked out of the tent and couldn't help but marvel at the wild boar as big as a calf. These 3 big wild boars didn't seem to be afraid of humans. They stared directly at the carriage. The aroma of grains and vegetables on the carriage attracted them. "Sir, leave these beasts to me," Luo Ning hummed, and at the same time, he used all 20 points of energy essence. Buzz. At this moment, it was as if something was broken in McCann's body. Earthy yellow energy emitted from his heart and spread throughout his body. This is. McCann was shocked to feel the fighting spirit in his body, and he found to his disbelief that he had broken through. Although he knew that this was the master's method, he was still surprised that Luo Ning had such ability. "Go and end this battle as quickly as possible and let the guards see your power." "As you wish, my lord." McCann's eyes were firm. He drew out his long sword, jumped forward and flew out. His speed amazed all the guards. The wild boar howled, but instead of retreating, it attacked McCann. "Let's go too," helped Captain McCann. The guards did not flinch, and 1 or 2 of them rushed over with their swords raised, but at this moment, a ray of light lit up, and McCann struck out with a sword. The blade formed by fighting spirit landed accurately on the wild boar's head across a distance of several meters. The fighting spirit slash directly broke through the wild boar's skin and flesh, and the huge impact force acted on its head, knocking it to the ground. "Let the fighting spirit out," the knowledgeable guard shouted out. Captain McCann is an intermediate knight. The guards who have participated in training all year round are all aware of the signs of intermediate knights. As soon as they see Dookie slash, they know McCann's level. With his shout, all the guards stopped. An intermediate knight can deal with 3 ordinary wild boars without any help from them. At this time, someone wondered, when Captain introduced himself during the day, didn't he say he was just a junior knight? Why is he an intermediate knight now? That you understand, the king explained. You don't understand this. Lord Knight often hides his strength and deliberately lowers his level so that he can confuse his opponents in battle. Oh, so that's it. The man seemed to understand. Luo Ning stepped forward at this time. No, McCann is indeed just a junior knight during the day. His words instantly attracted the guard's attention. Luo Ning smiled mysteriously. It's just that he practiced the moves I taught him carefully, and he broke through after training in the evening. The main reason why he said this was to enhance everyone's enthusiasm for training, in this world. Who can resist the temptation to become an extraordinary person? This group of guards, especially those who are no more than 18 years old, are just ordinary infantrymen of the Knight Squad, with a limited future. If they want to reach a higher level, they can only hope that they can awaken the seeds of fighting spirit and become professional knights. Originally, this wish was difficult to realize, but now Luo Ning gave an explanation. They also saw with their own eyes that McCann, who was still a junior knight during the day, became an intermediate knight at night. What does this indicate? Luo Ning didn't explain it directly, but the guards automatically thought that as long as they practiced the movements taught to them by adults, they would be able to improve. In a daze, Luo Ning felt that the eyes of these guards seemed to have changed, which was their desire for extraordinary power, thanks to the two gentlemen who have been on the road to weight loss all their lives and the light of lightning for their votes and support. New. Chapter 1818 Fighting Skills or Magic. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 18 Fighting Skills or Magic. Of the 3 wild boars that invaded the camp, McCann killed one cleanly. Seeing that the situation was not good, the remaining 2 turned and fled into the forest, making it difficult to pursue them further. Such a clean and tidy battle attracted loud cheers from the onlookers. Luo Ning looked at the big guy who was nearly 1.5 meters long and weighed several hundred kilograms. Even though he was amazed, he was not stingy and promised to give the guards a piece of meat and a bowl of broth for every meal starting from tomorrow. This can not only strengthen the physical fitness of the guards and make them train more vigorously, but also mobilize their enthusiasm again. After the wild boar carcass was handed over to the guards, McCann came to Luo Ning. Sir, after I broke through, I remembered something again. He said respectfully. Luo Ning was stunned. Oh. Tell me, what are they? It's a few fighting skills. When McCann was explaining, he squatted down and punched the ground. Luo Ning felt an energy spreading on the ground. Puff. On the land ahead, a sharp spear made of soil pierced out from the ground at a very fast speed. Luo Ning was sure that such a spear was a great threat to ordinary people. If he didn't avoid it in time, he would definitely be stabbed in the hole. Is this a fighting skill? Luo Ning was a little confused. Isn't this earth magic? Magic? McCann shook his head. I'm sorry, sir, I don't know much about magic. But what I just used was the earth attribute fighting skill cone stab earth spear. He said with a look of regret on his face. It is said that in the future, a cone-piercing earth spear fighting skill can make a large area of the ground become covered with spears. It's a pity that I don't have enough fighting spirit now, so I can only send out an earth spear. Spear. Luo Ning nodded slowly. So fighting skills can be used like this. He thought that knights used fighting skills to chop with knight swords or emit light waves, but he didn't expect that they could also change the external environment. Now it seems that the fighting spirit and magic in this world are different from what he imagined. It seems that as your strength increases, part of you awakens some memory information. This is somewhat similar to how certain card characters in the game upgrade to unlock specific skills. How many fighting skills can you use now? In addition to this, I can also use the defensive, earth wall, fighting technique. McCann explained, we can raise an earthen wall in front of us to resist attacks such as arrows. No wonder it is said that the strength of a knight will be greatly improved after reaching the intermediate level, and now it seems that this is indeed the case. The 2 fighting skills that McCann has mastered, one for attack and one for defense, are quite effective. I don't have any other earth attribute fighting skills now. I will find 2 for you when I have the opportunity. Ronan encouraged McCann and then got into the tent. After this fuss, he actually thought about fighting skills and magic. he has both wind and fire attributes, and the Wushan family has fire attributes. When leaving, he should ask Lowlands or Wiggins for 2 fighting skills. And there's magic. Where can I get a magic book to study it? Magicians are very rare. Even the Marquis family does not have many magicians who are loyal to them. At least Luo Ning's predecessor has not come into contact with them. Diamond suit. I wonder if the family has any magic books with wind and fire attributes. Wushanbao still has to go back, but there is no rush for this matter for now. He will consider it after he breaks through to the intermediate level. For now, it is better to go to Shanlin town to check the situation. Moreover, the reward on the 7th day of the 7-day login is a light attribute magician. Through him, Luo Ning should also be able to learn some information about magic. As for fighting skills, the first top-up gift will be a fire attribute knight. You can also learn from him when the time comes, a night of silence. Starting from the 2nd day, the enthusiasm of the guards to participate in the training skyrocketed. First, Luo Ning gave them plenty of food. In addition to ordinary bread, there was also a piece of meat and a bowl of soup for each meal, so that they could gain strength through training. Secondly, and most importantly, due to Luo Ning's intentional actions, everyone believed that these exercises could increase the possibility of awakening the seeds of fighting spirit. Those guards under the age of 18 trained extremely seriously. Of course, being serious is one thing, but there are times when people get tired and want to lie down. Therefore, Luo Ning arranged a series of punishment measures such as push-ups and squat jumps, and punished anyone who dared to be lazy. As for Luo Ning himself, he neither stood in a military posture nor practiced his steps. Instead, he practiced his sword skills. At the same time, he would compete with McCann when he had time. Although he was abused most of the time, his fighting skills were also improving rapidly. 2 more days passed like this, with Luo Ning's team moving forward, practicing, and resting. Boring, but very rewarding. At least after these 3 days of training, the guards have understood the instructions. By punishing a row when one person makes a mistake, they can gain a little bit of collective consciousness. I believe that if you train for a while, the effect will be even better. As for Luo Ning himself, maybe he is really a genius in swordsmanship. Now he can last more than 10 rounds under McCann, naturally when the opponent controls his strength. In addition, Luo Ning also received rewards on the 5th and 6th days of 7-day login. The reward on the 5th day is a magic weapon called Flowing Flame Sword. In addition to the high strength and sharpness of the sword, it is also engraved with magic lines. According to reports, when this sword is activated with wind and fire attribute fighting energy, it can produce scorching flames, which is very powerful. It's a pity that Luo Ning's current strength is limited and he can't use this ability. The weight of the sword also prevents him from swinging it continuously, so he can only temporarily store the Flowing Flame Sword in the space ring. The reward on the 6th day is a Warcraft contract scroll. It is said that as long as the Warcraft does not resist, the scroll can be used to establish a master-servant contract, so that even the most ferocious Warcraft can be used by oneself. This is a very precious item, and it is probably difficult to buy it outside. However, Luo Ning can't use it for the time being, so he can only put it in the space ring first. In a few hours, you can receive the 7th day's reward. Luo Ning was somewhat looking forward to the fact that a magician with light attributes would appear among his subordinates. Magicians are already rare, especially those with light attributes. It is said that in other principalities, magicians with light attributes have saved many victims and nobles through magic, and have also established the Church of Light. I don't know if it is true or not. Unfortunately, after receiving this reward, the 7 days of logging in are over. This also means that Luo Ning can only get another loyal subordinate through the first deposit of lavish gifts. If he wants to expand his team, he can only recruit and train him in the real world. If Luo Ning wants to improve his title and realize his greater ambitions, it is not enough to just rely on the 3 extraordinary beings brought by Golden Finger. Thinking of this, Luo Ning placed his hope in the young guards in the team. He had seen their progress in the past few days of training. McCann, find a suitable place to set up camp ahead. Okay, sir. McCann rode to the front of the team, observing the situation on both sides of the road as he advanced. There are only 2 conditions that must be met for a suitable place to rest at night. Either the terrain is relatively open or it is close to a water source. If there is water supply in the car, one of them can be met. It's just that McCann observed this along the way, and it didn't seem like there was a very suitable location. As the motorcade advanced, he suddenly reined in the reins and signaled the guards behind to stop the carriage. "What's wrong, Captain McCann?" The guard behind was a little confused. "There seems to be the sound of fighting ahead." McCann listened carefully, then turned his horse and turned back. "You don't move for now, I'll report to the Baron." New. Chapter 1919 Catch a Magician. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 1st Division. Today's sunset is particularly red, and even the clouds in the sky and the road on the ground are reflected and covered with red gauze. However, compared to the color of the flowing human blood, this red color is not enough to look at. On this road in the wilderness, a fight was going on. The accompanying carriage was cut into two sections. The bodies of the horses and guards fell to the ground, with blood flowing everywhere. On one side of the road, 3 sturdy knights were fighting each other. The knight with the blue lake emblem tattooed on his right arm was 1 against 2. He could barely hold on, but he probably wouldn't be able to hold on for long. "Miss, take the young master away quickly, leave quickly." The knight shouted loudly, but behind a carriage, a young boy was lying on the ground with a pale face, his arm bleeding, and a girl beside him was pulling the boy and struggling to escape, but it was obvious that the girl's leg was twisted, and it was obviously impossible for her to escape with the boy with her own strength. At this time, another figure slowly walked over, holding a long sword with blood dripping from it. Do you want to escape?" The man's voice was a little hoarse. "Let me send you to escape to hell." At the announcement of death, the man raised his sword. The girl's face was pale and she couldn't move. "Damn it, how dare you assassinate the blood of the Green family!" The knights who were being fought roared, but they could only rage helplessly. He couldn't get away at all, and after the girl and the young master died, he would be the next to die. "Call out!" Just as the man raised his sword, an inferior long sword turned into an arrow and shot through the air, pointing directly at his throat. "Is there someone?" The man was startled and quickly gave up on killing the girl and turned sideways to avoid the attack. "Call out!" Another long sword came through the air, forcing the man to distance himself from the girl. 2 war horses arrived one after another, none other than Luo Ning and his knight McCann. Originally, Luo Ning didn't want to meddle in other people's business, but he thought that on such a road, even if there were enemies, they wouldn't be powerful ones. So after asking McCann to investigate first and determine the basic situation, they rushed over. Naturally, Luo Ning couldn't miss this kind of thing of rescuing people and making friends with nobles. "Your Excellency, 2 knights, please lend a helping hand. The Green family will be deeply grateful," the fighting knight roared, but as he was distracted, his arm was slashed. "McCann, save that knight first," Luo Ning ordered. "Okay, sir." McCann dismounted, pulled out his sword, picked up his shield and rushed over, but at this moment, the man who had just raised the sword dropped the sword in his hand, clasped his hands together and quickly pulled it away. Luo Ning saw elements condensing between his 2 palms, forming a wind-powered blade in the blink of an eye. "Be careful, he is a magician," the girl said with difficulty, reminding her. "Call out." The wind blade shot out so fast that it gave Luo Ning goosebumps. "McCann, be careful." No longer able to wait for his reminder, McCann stopped and thrust his sword into the ground. Fighting energy flowed into the ground along the sword. In front of him, an earth wall rose from the ground. Boom! The wind blade hit the earth wall, completely cutting the earth wall into 2 pieces, and used the remaining energy to slash towards McCann. McCann raised his shield in advance and withstood the blow. Fortunately, the wind blade had been weakened and the remaining power did not have much lethality. After bombarding the shield, McCann only took a small step back to block it. "Intermediate knight." The magician's expression changed. "Back off." Seeing that things had changed, he retreated without even thinking about it, even ignoring the 2 knights in the fierce battle. But now Luo Ning is not willing to let this person run away. Magician, what a rare existence, and he is also a wind attribute magician, which is very consistent with his attributes. "McCann, you come to deal with this magician," remember not to let him escape. Remember to catch them alive. Your will, my sword. McCann was not afraid at all and rushed over without thinking. Luo Ning, on the other hand, galloped towards the knights who were fighting fiercely. In the assassination of nobles in Wushan territory, which force do you belong to? The long sword swiped, carrying the galloping momentum of the war horse. Only one of the two knights could jump out to resist the blow, but under the collision of huge force, the sword in the opponent's hand fell apart. Luo Ning is now in the late stage of junior knight, and his progress has reached much greater than the junior knight in front of him. Coupled with the increase in war horses, it was simply not something the opponent could resist. He reined in his horse, turned its head and charged again. The knight who had lost his sword had no intention of resisting and wanted to escape into the forest to avoid pursuit, but he was fast, but not as fast as Luo Ning's high-quality war horses. Puff! Luo Ning caught up from behind, swiping his sword across the opponent's arms and slicing the arteries in his neck, and blood spurted out. King of Slaughter achievement achieved, attribute points plus 30, energy essence plus 60. As the battle here ended, the knight who had just been suppressed also completed his counterattack. Now, only the battle between McCann and the magician is not over. Luo Ning sat on his horse and watched from a distance. At this moment, there was cyan energy flowing on the magician's feet, which made Luo Ning discover that the speed of a magician could be comparable to that of an intermediate knight. Unfortunately, after he escaped for a while, the energy in his feet disappeared, and his speed also dropped sharply, perhaps due to insufficient magic power. Even though he rushed into the forest, he was quickly caught up by McCann, who kicked him in the back and was knocked to the ground. I advise you not to struggle, so that you will suffer less. When McCann chased after him, he punched Bang Bang twice, which directly broke two of the opponent's ribs. Then he grabbed the other person's collar at the back of his head and carried him back down the mountain. He dropped the magician in front of Luo Ning like a kitten, and then put the long sword on the opponent's neck. Luo Ning put the long sword into the scabbard, pulled the reins and sat on the horse. Who are you? Why do you want to assassinate people from the Green family? Snort. The magician snorted coldly. If the initial battle hadn't consumed so much of my magic power, you wouldn't be able to catch me now. McCann moved his sword and shouted, watch your attitude, prisoner. They should be skull and bones killers. The injured knight came over and saluted Ronin and McCann. Thank you both for your rescue. The Green family will remember your kindness. Luo Ning nodded slightly. Go and see your young master and young lady. They should be a little injured. After hearing this, the knight did not dare to delay and walked towards the carriage. Bless the seven gods, master, your skin and flesh were only cut off by the wind blade, and your muscles and bones were not injured. Miss, your foot is twisted and you cannot move for the time being. Luo Ning withdrew his gaze from the Green family. This prisoner would be his biggest gain from this operation. Chahar, bring some guards here. Chahar, who was watching from a distance, heard Luo Ning's call and called 5 guards to run over. Master, your orders. Luo Ning pointed to the magician on the ground. Go and see if the young master and young lady over there need any help. Guard, step forward and control this guy. McCann, come and search him to see if there is any important information on him. Of course, the search for information was fake. Luo Ning mainly wanted to know if the other party had a magic book on him, or if he had any money. Thanks to Heaven is Dead and other experts for their votes, the book will be recommended in the first round at 12 o'clock tonight. It is really important for newcomers to read new books, so please read it every day, to the end of the latest chapter. Only in this way can you have a chance to advance to the next round. Thank you. New. Chapter 2020 Skull and Bones Society. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 20 Skull and Bones Society. Master, this was found from him. Under the dusk, McCann held some items in his hands and presented them respectfully. Luo Ning nodded slightly, took them one by one and looked at them. His attention was first focused on the small black bag and 4 pieces of parchment. The small black bag was obviously for money. It made a clatter when I got it, and I didn't know how many gold coins there were, and among the 4 sheepskins, after Luo Ning saw the content clearly, he couldn't help but look surprised. 3 of the parchments clearly recorded 3 wind attribute spells, namely the first level magical breeze technique, the second-level magical lightning technique and the wind blade technique. God is really helping me. Luo Ning was extremely happy. Before, he was still thinking that there was no way to learn spells, but he didn't expect to get 3 kinds of spells at once. What's this? Luo Ning looked at the 4th piece of parchment with some confusion. There were red lines on it, which were somewhat similar to the lines on the parchment that recorded the Qingfeng technique. Could it be that he wants to reproduce a magical introduction to Qingfeng technique for sale? Luo Ning guessed. He glanced at the 3 small bottles and a quill in the guard's hand. He was not interested in these. He put the money bag and parchment into his pocket, then waved his hand. I will give the remaining things to Chahar and ask him to keep them. Luo Ning looked at the trapped magician and said, "Maken, find a rope and tie him up tightly. I'll ask him something later." He planned to question this person later to get more magic knowledge. Magicians are rare. After dealing with the magician's matter, Luo Ning got off his horse and now it was time to communicate with the Green family. Seeing Luo Ning coming, the 3 members of the Green family quickly saluted. Chahar introduced at the right time, "Sir, these are Master Malik, Miss Marina and their Knight Kane of the Green family." Luo Ning put his left hand on his chest, maintaining the etiquette of a noble. "I'm sorry we are a little late." "How are your injuries?" The boy Malik forced a smile and said, "Sir Luo Ning, on behalf of the Green family, I would like to express my most sincere gratitude to you. If you had not arrived in time today, our lives would have been lost." The girl also echoed, "You are indeed the best bloodline of the Wushan family." The battle just now was so handsome. Luo Ning smiled slightly. He was handsome, but the most outstanding bloodline of the Wushan family was a little less interesting. The reputation of the predecessor must have been heard by all the nobles in the Wushan territory. Basically, they all said that the Wushan family had an heir like Luo Ning, and the family had no future. While speaking, he was also looking at the 2 members of the Green family. The girl's voice is relatively thin, and the timbre sounds pretty good, but her appearance is extremely average. She is about 1.56 meters tall. Although she is wearing a loose long skirt, it can be seen that she is a bit overweight and she seems to have a lot of freckles on her face. As for the boy next to him, Malik, he should be a little younger. Perhaps because he had lost a lot of blood, his face was a little pale. Although he tried his best to maintain the etiquette of a noble and not be rude, it was obvious that he was very tired. Luo Ning didn't communicate much. "Let them rest and recover. Chahar, bring my carriage over and let the brave young master and the beautiful lady go in and rest for a while." "Okay, sir." Chahar quickly turned around and brought the carriage over. Malik and Marina couldn't hold on any longer. After expressing their gratitude to Ronan again, they entered the carriage to rest with the help of Knight Kane. "Sir Kane, what is going on with you?" Luo Ning asked about the other party's experience at this time. It turned out that during the crusade against the Black Gold Brotherhood launched by Count Wiggins, Baron Hermann, the patriarch of the Green family, was unfortunately injured. Mrs. Flavia sent Mtlnovel and his knight team to Wushan Extraordinary Academy to pick up Malik and Marina, but she didn't expect that something like this would happen on the way. The magician was hiding in the dark, and 2 wind blades came up. Captain Noel hastily managed to block one, but his throat was cut by the second one. Kane was still immersed in the grief of losing the captain. The young master and young lady's carriage was also cut open by the remaining force of the wind blade, and the young master and young lady were injured as a result. Only then did Luo Ning understand why the convoy escorting the heir of the Green family was led by a junior knight. It turned out that the captain died suddenly when he came up. After the other party's description, Luo Ning also became wary of magic. The scene where the magician used the wind blade before was still vivid in my mind. Thanks to McCann's timely reaction, he was able to escape safely. Skull and bones. Luo Ning looked at the corpses of the fallen assassins. There were indeed white skull patterns on their chests. Is it a killer organization? Kane sniffed and wiped away his tears. I don't know much about it. It is said that the Skull and Bones Society was an organization that appeared at about the same time as the Black and Gold Brotherhood and the Portland Thieves. It's just that the latter two have a base, but the Skull and Bones Society does not. Their members are scattered, and they are involved in many assassination missions. Luo Ning wrote down this name. He didn't know if these organizations active in Wushan territory would come to trouble him one day. Hopefully the remoteness of Shanlin town would make him less noticeable. I'm sorry to hear about your dangerous experience. I will ask my guards to help you sort out the remains and let them be buried on the roadside. Thank you, Lord Ronan. Cain bowed in thanks. Watching Cain burying his teammates with the help of guards, Luo Ning couldn't help but feel a little emotional. I don't know what these siblings have offended to cause such a fatal disaster. It is really an unreasonable disaster. The Green Family. Luo Ning compiled information about this family. The Green family's territory is in Hushang town. As the name suggests, there are many large and small lakes in its territory, so the family's aquatic products are very rich. Their freshwater fish and shrimp are very popular in Wushan territory. Luo Ning remembered that the most delicious hornfish was produced in Hushang town. Could this assassination be triggered by a financial dispute? Luo Ning thought for a while and stopped worrying. The affairs of the nobles were complicated. How could an outsider like him figure it out? Anyway, now that he has saved the heir of the Green family and his daughter, Baron Gelman must express his gratitude, right? Asking the other party for something is what Luo Ning should think about. By the way, I just completed the achievement by killing the junior knight. Luo Ning led the horse back to the guard's convoy and called up the system interface. At this moment, his attribute points and energy essence points have reached 30 and 140 points respectively, which is not only enough to complete his knight level progress, but also to increase the level progress of the light attribute magician he will have to the late elementary level. It won't be long before he has an intermediate magician, after seeing how powerful the wind-attributed mid-level magician was. Luo Ning also looked forward to the light-based magician. Sure enough, it's right to reserve energy essence instead of all-inclusively adding points to Macan. Of course, after the light magician reaches the intermediate level and his strength is significantly improved, Luo Ning is still ready to let Macan break through to the advanced knight first. After all, in a team, there must be a ranking of combat power, and it is not the best choice to always increase averagely. Luo Ning consumed all 30 attribute points. As his physical strength increased, he noticed that his mental power was also growing rapidly. Level 1 Junior Knight, 100 out of 100, 1 Junior Magician, 25 out of 150. As his mental power grew, Luo Ning felt that his mana space had also increased slightly, which allowed him to refine more mana. Thinking of the 3 magics he had just obtained, Luo Ning decided to give it a try later. He turned his attention to the Achievement Master interface, guessing that the King of Slaughter achievement should be advanced. At first glance, it turns out that it is indeed the case. The new content is, King of Killing, kill any second-level extraordinary unit, reward, attribute points plus 50, energy essence plus 100. Luo Ning's eyes shone, and he happened to have a second-level extraordinary unit in his hand. New